So this is LeetCode problem number 844, and the problem is nothing but backspace string compare. Okay, and the statement is given two string s and t. We need to return true if they are equal when both are typed into empty text editor, and this character is nothing but backspace character. Okay, and here also said that after backspacing an empty text, the text will continue empty, because let's say you have a empty string. Okay, if you apply the backspace operation, then the string will empty also. Okay, so you can able to understand with this example. Okay, just let me configure this, or let me help you to understand with this example. But if we overall say, we just need to compare the both the string after performing the backspace. Okay, we just need to check whether these two string are similar or not. Okay, if both the string are similar, then we need to return true, otherwise we need to return false. Okay, the example, you can see this is the first string and this is the second string. So what I need to do, first of all, we need to perform the backspace operation for first string, and also need to apply the backspace operation for the second string. Then we need to actually check if both the string are similar or not. If similar, then we need to return true, otherwise we need to return false. Okay, so what I need to do is, let me do this operation. So you can say right now. Okay, so you can see this string is having a backspace character. So what I need to do, we need to perform the backspace character. That means we need to delete this b. So if we apply the backspace character, right now we'll be having the final string will be what, will be a and c. Okay, okay, a and c. So right now ac is nothing but a and c. Okay, now you can see this is the t string and this is the backspace operation. If we apply the backspace operation, this will delete d and the final string will be ac. Okay, so you can see both the string are similar, so in that case we can return true. Okay, so this is exactly same. Now if we talk about this, you can see this string don't have any backspace character, so the final string will be as it is b, but it has a backspace character. So if we apply the backspace character, so it will basically delete a, so we'll be having final string as c. Okay, now you can see this is c and this is b, both are different. Okay, so we just need to return false. So this is the overall problems. Okay, I think you are clear with this problem. Now let me tell you what we need to do to solve this problem. Okay, so you can see this is the string. So what I need to do, we need to simply we need to make a function. Okay, we need to make a function that will, let's say, take a parameter string type. Okay, so let's say this is the first string. We need to pass this string to this function, so that this function, after applying this backspace operation, return the original result. Let's say this will be nothing but ac. Okay, we also need to pass this t string to this function, and it will also return the final string after performing the backspace operation. That will be nothing but ac. Okay, then you can say we'll be getting two string. Okay, then we need to simply apply the compare operation between these two string, and we'll be able to find whether both are similar or not. So in according to that, we need to return true and false. Okay, so you can see this is nothing but a three step. Okay, so first of all, in first step, we need to pass this string to this function. Okay, and then second, we need to pass this string to this function. Okay, and thirdly, we need to compare both the final string. Okay, so you can say this is the third step process. But if we talk about the time complexity, so let's say the length of the s is nothing but n, and the length of t is nothing but m. Okay, let's say the m. So we can say this function, for this function, it will be taking nothing but m plus m time complexity. Okay, just to get the final string. Then we need to apply this comparison, right? So it will be taking big of the maximum length between m and n. We are assuming this will be n. Okay, so you can say the overall this will be the summation of this. So overall this will be the time complexity. Okay, now let me tell you a very simple approach that will be, you can say this approach is nothing but a three-step approach. So we can solve it in a single step. So we'll be using the two pointer approach. Okay, and using the two pointer, will be performing the backspace operation and the checking operation simultaneously. Okay, and that is why it will be a one-step process. And if we talk about the time complexity, this will be approximately same, or you can say big of m plus n. Okay, or similar to approximately linear time complexity, we can say. But the thing is, it will be one step process. So what we'll be doing, we'll be taking two pointer. First pointer will start from the last index of this array, first array, and second pointer will start from the last index of the second string, not array. Okay, then we'll able to, we'll simply apply the two pointer approach and able to find out whether both the string are similar or not. Okay, to use two pointer approach, our first pointer will be, let's say, index 1, and it will point to the last index of s, so s dot length minus 1, and the next pointer or second pointer will be, let's say, index 2. It will point to the last index of t, so t dot, okay, t dot length minus 1. Okay, now we just need to apply the two pointer approach. So condition will be nothing but until index 1 is greater than equals to 0, or index 2 is greater than equals 0, this loop will. So now let me do this. Let me find, now what I need to do, we need to find the valid index for a string and valid index for a t string, okay, to compare both the character. Okay, so let's say valid index for a string is I, and we'll be using a function, okay, to find the valid string. Okay, after after performing the backspace operation. Now let's say the function name is nothing but get valid index. Also in this function we need to simply pass the string. So in that case the string is s, and you need to pass the index, current index, and current index is nothing but index 1. Okay, so you can say right now I is nothing but the valid index to compare for a string. We also need to find for t string, so we need to do the same. So get valid index, and we need to pass t string, and current index is nothing but index 2. Okay, so this is the thing. Now let me write this get string function. Okay, so we can write this string over here. So what I need to do, you can see this function returning an integer type. So int name of the function, and it's taking parameter string type, let's say name is str, and also taking an integer type, next name is index. Okay, so what I need to do, with the help of this function, okay, we need to perform the backspace operation and need to return the valid index for a particular string to compare, right? So we'll be taking a variable in type just to count the backspace. Okay, so you can say this is backspace. So right now you can say we need to initialize with 0. So we'll be having this condition, this loop will continuous, okay, until our index value is greater than equals 0. So every time we just need to check our current character. Okay, if the current character is the backspace character, then we need to count the backspace. Okay, so we just need to check that str dot char at, if str dot char at this index, current index, is a backspace character. So if this is equals to, if this equals this backspace character, then what I need to do, we need to add, we need to add the backspace count, add the, you need to increase the backspace counter by 1, right? Okay, and else if, okay, let's say anytime if the backspace the current character is not backspace, but we have the backspace count greater than 0, that means what I need to do, we need to apply the backspace operation, right? So that's how we need to check if the backspace count is greater than 0, we need to simply perform the backspace operation. We can say we need to simply what, we need to simply apply the backspace operation, or you can say we need to decrease the index by 1, or okay, and as we using a backspace operation, we also need to decrease the backspace count, right? Backspace is minus minus. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, and we have else another thing. Okay, let's say we are not getting into these two condition. Okay, so our current index is now, let's say, with a valid character. So we need to what, we need to simply need to break this loop, right? Because the current index is a valid string to compare it, so we can do this. Okay, we can do this. Okay, So that is the thing, you can say. Okay, and after this leap we need to simply return. Okay, now my bad. Okay, you can see in this index also, for this condition also, here we need to decrease the index by 1, right? Okay, index by 1. So you can see here we also increasing this index. So let me erase from here also, so that it will come. Okay, so this is the thing. Now lastly we just need to return this index, because this will be the valid index to compare with. Okay, so right now we are getting this valid index. So what I need to do, we need to first of all compare that if the both, if both the valid, both this index is out of bound, out of the array, or we can say if I is less than 0 as well as j is less than 0. So we can say that we have nothing to check, right? So we can need to simply return true for these cases. Okay, and we have other case also. Okay, let's say if any one of this index get out of bounds, then what I need to do, let's say if I is less than 0 or j is less than 0. Okay, if I is less than 0 or j is less than 0, then what I need to do, so you can say right now any one of this index out of bounds. So you can say one for a particular string the character is finished, but for other character, for other string, we have character also. So in that case we need to return false. Okay, and we have some other condition also. Let's say if the current two characters, okay, valid characters are not equal, so in that case we also need to return false. Okay, so we just need to check if is dot caret, let's say is dot caret I, this index is not equal, let's say t dot caret j. Okay, if both the characters are not equal, in that case we also need to return false, right? So this is the thing. Okay, and finally after this condition we need to decrease the valid index by 1, decrease the current index, or we need to decrease the index 1 by 1, or we can say this will be nothing but I minus 1. Okay, and our index 2 will also initialize to j minus 1. Okay, yeah, that's it. And finally we just need to return anything, because everything will happen in between this loop. Okay, so that is the thing, and if we check everything, okay, then we just need to return true. Okay, so now let me run this code to check whether we have some error or not. So you can see this working well for these test cases. Now let me submit this code. Okay, so you can see it gets submitted. Okay,